Welcome back to another episode here on LGM Building. We are completing a project today, so let's go take a look around. So, all new painting, security camera system, security lights, all new extended driveway out to the left, at least a metre all the way around, and all the way around here to the ramp. A disability friendly project, so we need to get the car from the drive all the way around to the front door for ease of access, and that's exactly what we've achieved. So what you can see is this nice boundary has been created all the way around, at least a metre. And what that's, like I say, is going to allow is this car's going to be able to come all the way up here to this ramp, which we've just we're completing today, and the wheelchair will be able to go around and through the front door, which you can see right here. So we've had all new windows, we've had roof windows put in, all brand new PVC, composite door, ramps, ground extension. We've had pretty much everything done here, new fascia boards, new guttering, black, white. Yeah, there's nothing we haven't done on this project. So if we go through the back entrance here, we're going to walk you through the kitchen. Let's go. First and foremost, this is the kitchen. This is it finished. What you can see are some lovely oak worktops, some lovely dove grey cupboard along with black finishes to the handles, a nice quartz black sink, all electric features. We've got a nice AEG hob, cooker fan. The floor has also been put in to match the worktops. Oak's actually a bit of a feature throughout the house, so we've got oak doors, worktops, flooring. This is a breakfast bar, which has got room for a chair to be put underneath it. Obviously everything's low level, no kitchen cupboards up high, so that everything's accessible from the ground. They're on a combi boiler system, so that's heated by the mains gas, which comes in through the street, goes into a boiler, and that will supply heat and hot water to the home. These radiators are actually very nice. They're tall, they're 6 foot tall, which you can see me next to them, just about 6 foot. Yeah, we install these all the time. People really want these. They're, well, they're eye-catching, they're a feature. You walk in through your door into a room, you notice them straight away. I guess the old traditional double vector radiator that sits about mid-height is sort of out of fashion nowadays. Over here we've got the living room. Again, with all the oak feature, which is consistent throughout the house. You can view the sea from upstairs. It's not quite a feature down here. Maybe in the winter you might be able to see a bit of something out there. Ocean glimpses, yeah. It's a nice cosy room. This is obviously where everyone's going to come in, cosy down and relax for the evening when they're here with the friends and with the family, and just chill and, you know, make the most of the weekend before that big dreadful day of back to work on Monday. So this was an electric heater encased with a marble aesthetic sort of feature around it. It wasn't very nice, it was old, it was dated. We pulled it out, we tried to actually sell it, but we broke it upon removing it, so it wasn't salvageable. But what they are putting back here, I believe, is a log burner, which will sit in there, the flue straight up, and then they'll be able to feed it wood or multi-fuel, I don't know. But that's the sort of thing that will go in there. So that's up to them to deal with it when they see fit. So over here we've got probably the biggest talking point of the house. This room is really important for the client. So as you'll see when you walk into this room, there is something different about it. We have an adjustable bed and we have a fully rigged hoisting system. So one of the members of this family is disabled, and having this sort of system and setup in place is really important for this family. They're going to be able to raise the family member from the bed and move them over the house. In this particular case, it's to the bathroom, which if you'll follow me, you'll be able to take you through. Now, they come in on a hoist system and they come through the door. Basically what happens is this bar here moves along these two other ceiling bars. Then the hoist system, they'll be able to move the family member over and then into the bath and then over to the shower where they'll be able to wash in a chair. Now, it's still got to be a nice big breathable space. So what you'll be able to see here is lots and lots of room. We've got a nice big bath, centrally located in this area with a nice freestanding tap. Then you've got the raised sink off the ground in case the wheelchair, for example, might hit the pedestal. So there's a lot of thought gone into this. Then obviously we've got the toilet and this lovely breathable walk-in shower, big enough for a wheelchair to be pushed through into, to which then you'll be able to wash. Now, this room did come with some challenges. What you can see are hexagon tiles. Now, I don't really want to do these again, but if we are asked, we will. This is obviously going to be a very wet room. That is essentially a wet room in the corner. These tiles needed to be a non-slip type of flooring. So when they are wet, you can't fall. And then obviously, with it being a disabled friendly home, we've had to extend all the doors. These have all been moved to create great access for the family member to be pushed through every door on this ground floor. It's the master bedroom downstairs, which you can see has got a lot of coloration going on for it. Customers actually started furnishing. But they have got a great little feature in this room in itself, which is this bathroom. Another challenging project. We've got the herringbone style tiles, which is a feature throughout this entire room. One of the great challenges, they've had black grout on a white tile and white grout on a black tile. So we've had to neatly do these at separate times to make sure the grout doesn't merge into the other one. And then finished nicely with a silicone bead. Again, black being a great feature throughout the house. And we've also got a bifolding door, because if you think about it, with it being such a small room, if you open the shower into it, you have to move around it. And it's the same for going into the room. We've got the sink right in the way, so it made sense to make the suggestion of this bifolding door. Again, black features on the mirror, a nice little shelf, and the toilet, of course, with a lovely little sheep. Carpet's not down, nothing to do with us. So let's start with the back bedroom. So we've got a lovely little twin room with a window looking onto the neighbour's property, so we put opaque glass in and that cuts that problem out. So this was all made, when we first come here, this was loft space. There was none of this here. There was joists on for ceilings and that was it. And this was just a tall, long loft space. So the actual loft hatch used to be more or less where I'm stood right now. So we could just see tiles up here. If you'd have stepped off the joist, you'd have fell through the floor. There really was nothing here. So everything you see here was brand new, built with the inner loft conversion. Mighty impressive. So this room here, what we've had to do is move the boiler from downstairs. We've had to pull all the pipework up through the floor and into this little room, which obviously had its challenges with the door. So we've been able to put this nice little 45 on it and make it look like it was meant to be. And then a new ideal boiler, fitted by Jack Plumbing. Good shout out to my friend there. I know he's on YouTube, so he likes to do this sort of thing. Going through to this room then, this is a nice little room. Very hard room to do because of, again, space. So we've had to pull this stud forward to accommodate a nice, reasonably sized little bathroom. So obviously, so there's a regulation, believe it or not, between where a door can open towards a staircase. There has to be a certain width of a door. God knows why that's a regulation, but it is. So the challenge was, how do we put a door on here if we move this wall forward? So we came up with this, a sliding door system, which is simple, just slides. I'll tell you what was difficult to install, or measure I should say, is this glass. This is bespoke, so it's the first time I've ever had to do this. I've had to pick out a shower door that I've had to make myself. So we've had to take about 10 measurements on this to get it right, and what you'll be able to see is that the glass fits in absolutely perfect to the wall. And I'm proud because I measured that. This here is a wall that's supporting up here, which is a purlin. Purlin is something that supports the roof. So we couldn't get rid of this wall. So therefore, what do? Do we cover, fill that over, put the toilet here, would condense the space. What we've actually done is put if you come around here, Charlie, what you'll see is that we've been able to fit a toilet in here, in this tiny little cubby hole. And then, I guess, lots of light features. You want to be able to have white everything, really, if you're in a small space like this. So this is the sea view room. Well, obviously, the big feature here is you can see the sea. I know that when I'll be looking for a property, I'll be wanting a view of the sea always. These are from the Midlands, these clients, so they haven't got the luxury of a nice sea view, so something like that must be really nice for them. But this is the upstairs master bedroom then. 2 roof lights, all installed, fresh on this project. Nice big airy space. Some nice colours, give the room a bit of something. And again, the oak, the look of the oak throughout the whole house. This was a challenge. We didn't know what we were doing with that. It held us up quite a bit actually. We didn't know whether we were going to go for glass or if we were going to go for oak, or in the end we've gone for this satin finish traditional handrail system, which it's come up really nice now it's been painted. If you like what you see, we've got more content on the way. If you have a building project like this, extensions, renovations, and please feel free to give us a call. We're always keeping up to date with the modern methods and we're eager to see what you've got for us.